All right. Welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Mark, the number one stock market show on Spotify and one of the most popular market updates on YouTube. In this show, we talk about what's happening in the markets and how we're trading them. Today is Tuesday, May 30th. The S&P and Nasdaq finished at highs not seen since August of 2022 on Friday, but the Dow struggles down 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Today, stocks are higher on news of a tentative debt ceiling deal, but it does look like we might be pulling back a little bit. Nvidia hits a huge milestone today. We'll look at Nvidia and some semiconductors, plus Tesla, Ford, and Coinbase all making some big moves. And we'll look at our Suncor trade and review some possible oil and gas plays for today and this week. As you can see, there's a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. If this is your first time here, my name is Mark Hodge. I'm head coach at Rockwell Trading. I'm running the show solo today, but on most days I'm joined by Rockwell Trading's founder, Marcus Heitkotter. Now, even though I'm alone today, I promise that you are in good hands. You could say that we have a ton of experience here at Rockwell Trading. We know our stuff, and we're not afraid to tell it like it is. So if you're looking for some honest insight into the world of trading, you've come to the right place. Now, before we dive in and show you our trades and how we're tackling these crazy markets, let's take a look at what's moving the markets today. And here I want to bring up the S&P 500. There we go. So the S&P 500 out of the gate actually opening higher, looking pretty good here. Pulling back though through the session, trying to fill that gap. Still positive for the day, up 0.2%, about 8 points. But what an impressive week. Last week we were down for 3 days straight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all down, bounced higher on Thursday, and a huge rally on Friday, finishing the day up 1.3% before the week. This was the highest close here. So up 0.3%, erasing Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays losses. And we see here that on a weekly chart, this is the best close we've seen since Monday, going back to mid-August of 2022. So a pretty impressive move higher and finishing above 4,200 after the rocky start earlier last week. Now let's go to the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ was just on the move, making another push higher. Look at this. It looks like we have 4 consecutive weeks higher, but the last 2 weeks specifically, just monster moves, up 2.5%. This also puts the S&P at levels, or sorry, the NASDAQ at levels that we haven't seen since early August 2022. So nice move in the S&P and the NASDAQ, fueled by AI and semiconductors in particular. Let's look at the Dow though, because the Dow not joining the party. Let's go ahead and look at a daily chart. The Dow last week actually sliding 5 days straight before Friday's rally. So on Friday we were up 1%, but going back to the previous Friday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive days lower. Last week's rally on Friday wasn't enough to lift the Dow into positive territory. So the Dow finishing 1% lower. Just not able to get a whole lot of traction here with the focus on tech and semis and AI. And we see here that even today, NASDAQ leading the way, higher, S&P up just a little bit, and the Dow in negative territory, down 118 points. So what's the deal today? Well, a lot of this optimism and the higher start that we saw was due to some developments over the weekend when President Joe Biden and House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy reached an agreement to raise the debt ceiling and avoid a default. Now, Congress will vote on this legislation as early as Wednesday, but both Republicans and Democrats still need to agree on the deal. So it will go to the House and then the Senate. So it doesn't mean that it's a done deal, but things are looking a little bit better. So it is something to keep an eye on, especially as we get into the later part of this week. Hopefully an agreement can be reached and we are good there, but some promising news over the weekend with President Joe Biden and House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy coming to terms on an agreement. Now, what's on the move? Well, we got to kick things off with Nvidia because I mean, gosh, what an impressive March higher after blockbuster earnings and a huge day on Thursday, up 24%. Friday, a little more love for Nvidia, up 2.5%. But then this morning, gapping higher again, up just shy of 6% right now. This puts us at the $1 trillion market cap. So we see here right now 1.014 puts Nvidia in the company of say Apple. All right, let's look at Apple. Apple is at 2.8 trillion now. So that was kind of a a little bit of a deflator there, looking at Apple still almost 3 times Nvidia. But look at this. Nvidia, like almost right there up with Amazon these days, right? So joining the elite 1 trillion club. Now with semiconductors, there are some others joining the party. We could look at AMD. And AMD, my shares did get called away on Friday, so I am no longer in AMD. AMD actually up a couple percent. I think it was 3% early, but pulling back a little bit. Now negative, slightly negative for the day, but still a lot of excitement with AMD up 11% on Thursday after NVIDIA's monster rally and AMD participating in a little bit of that. So I'm no longer in AMD. It was interesting today looking at new opportunities. I haven't looked to add a semiconductor for a while because I don't like to be in too many correlated positions, and so AMD had that space, and now hey, I might be ready to pick up another semiconductor right now with where we're at. I'm not a fan. I think that we're a little bit overextended, and I'd rather trade the wheel strategy when we see some strong support. We're able to sell puts there. Not the case right now for semis, but with AMD gone, I'm open to adding another one. Now, a few other market movers. Let's take a look at Ford. So, Ford, look at this huge day on Friday, up 6%. This was when there was an agreement with Tesla and Ford or for Ford to be able to use Tesla's chargers. And today up another 5%. So huge day for Ford. Now, this was due to an analyst upgrade. Jefferies upgraded the stock, said that the automaker has a strong plan in management and it will help close the gap on its rivals. So traders liking this news, and gosh, just 2 days is the difference. About 11% higher in back-to-back sessions. Another mover. Let's look at Tesla here. Tesla, look at this, back above 200. So last time we closed above 200 in Tesla was on March 31st. And right now we're back above 200. Also, you'll see this red line here. This is the 200-day moving average. So if we could close above 200, looks like we'll close above its 200-day moving average. Also, some nice round number love there for Tesla. So up about 201 right now. This comes on news that Elon Musk's jet arrived in China. Now, Reuters actually said that Musk is expected to meet with senior Chinese officials and visit Tesla's Shanghai plant. Electric vehicles, I think I saw that the expectation is that in China it will make up 45% of the electric vehicle market. Now, this is down from what it has been, but still huge opportunity there for Tesla. And it looks like traders are a little excited about that news. Now, Coinbase, also big mover today. So coin the ticker. Coinbase up, pulling back from highs that we had earlier, but still up 7%. Also an analyst upgrade helping fuel this move higher. Atlantic Equities upgraded Coinbase to overweight from neutral, thinking that Coinbase should be valued at $70 a share. So some investors liking that upgrade and a jump from Friday's close of around $57 a share. Nice move in Coinbase here. Might as well bring up a couple of AI stocks because I mean these things are just going crazy right now. A little too crazy for me. With this volatility, I personally like to trade something that's higher probability, more consistent. At Rockwell Trading, we believe in SRC profits, systematic, repeatable, and consistent. And to capture that best stock in the S&P 500, to get that big move, it is challenging. It's difficult, and even if you catch the stock, it's very difficult to be able to ride it up to its perfect point. But there are a couple of big movers because of this AI interest, and we have C3 AI here up 17% today. Just a huge, crazy move there. Also, two others. We have Path, big mover today, actually pulling back some, up about 4%, getting some of that love. And then we also have Palantir. Palantir, just an absolute mess last year, not really going anywhere, coming off of some big moves in 2021 and a huge sell off. But recently, after earnings, a nice jump higher. I mean, this thing, since reporting earnings in early May, up almost 100%. I mean, that's just crazy. Uh, Up almost 10% today. So some big movers there. Now let's go ahead and let's jump back over to PowerX Optimizer here because I want to talk about our positions. Also, talk about some oil and gas plays that you might consider if you like trading the wheel and you like some of these oil and gas companies. Actually, let's go back over to TradingView real quick because I want to show that crude oil. So crude oil is down 3.6%. And this is the thing, when stocks are down or you have a commodity like crude oil that's down big like this, I believe that there's opportunity. There's nice opportunity to pick up some stocks when it could be cheap, right? When others are fearful, it's usually a great time to buy. And we had quite a few oil and gas stocks pop up. Let's first take a look at Suncor because this is a position that both Marcus and I are in. Now, this one actually went positive for the day, pulling back a little bit. Marcus has sold the 28 put for Friday's expiration. I also have sold a put for Friday. My put's at 27.50. So I like Suncor. I think that if you look at the fundamentals, Suncor is pretty solid. PE ratio of 6.5. You have a dividend yield of 5.5%. If we look at quarterly net income, we had a bit of a blip here, September 2022, but 4 out of 5 quarters positive. Also, if you look at annual net income, positive 4 out of 5 years. The 1 year it was down was in 2020. And really, I can't blame oil and gas companies for being down in 2020 when crude oil actually went negative. So this is a pass for me. And I think that overall, nice opportunity on the wheel. Today, 27 strike is possible. I'm in at 27.50. Marcus has that 28 put, both expiring on Friday. Now, we could take a look at Oxy because Oxy was popping up in our mastermind call this morning. We were looking at a few different oil and gas plays. Now, Oxy is correlated to CTR or Suncor. So a little bit of a high correlation there. I like the 57 strike or lower. I personally think a 56, 55 would be great. This one with the Buffett effect just has rallied considerably and had these real nice ranges. You see support around 55, 57-ish, and some nice moves up to 76. I personally think this is still decent. If we look at the fundamentals on this one, we could see that, hey, with Oxy, you have a PE ratio 6.6, dividend yield lower than Suncor. If you look at the net income quarterly, it has fallen, but 5 quarters positive. Now, a little bit of a difference here. 2019, we went negative on net income, where Suncor was positive. 2020, rough year. but we see here 2022 very strong for Oxy. A few others that popped up here. We can look at ExxonMobil. Now, this one has some nice short-term support around 100. I do like round numbers, right? Sometimes you get the psychological support around round numbers, where if you have short sellers that, you've sold this at 108, you're trying to find a target, well, let's get out at 100, right? Or if this thing, you were interested at 100, you didn't get into the trade, it rallied up to 120, and then it starts to pull back. And as a buyer, you're thinking, hey, let me get in at 100, right? It's psychologically, round numbers tend to hold up as support and resistance levels. Now, if it gets through 100, it could fall back to 84. Some nice support around 82, 84, these levels here, but I do think this has some decent support around 100. Chevron, another one that popped up today. Chevron, we see here trading right around support levels. Looks like there was some support right around 150, 152-ish. The 148 strike popped up today. A little bit longer term, we might have some support around 135, 140, not too far away. This one, I would be a little more interested if we got a little closer to 140, 141, 141 to 145, maybe. Not bad though. I'll be honest. I'm a little biased here with Chevron because my great grandfather was a lawyer for Chevron. So my family's had Chevron stock for a little bit of a bias there, but I think Chevron's also solid. We could look at the fundamentals here. We see PE ratio 8.2, dividend yield 4%, and net income just solid each quarter. Annually, we see some a little bit of a dip in 2020. Again, that's to be expected. Just a huge 2022, $35.5 billion net income. We could look at ExxonMobil for comparison. Exxon actually looked real good too. Fundamentally, PE ratio 7, dividend yield 3.5%, quarterly just solid net income, annual positive 2019 like Suncor. So Oxy and Chevron had a negative 2019. All four had a negative 2020. But again, 2020 is a pass for me. So I think a few different opportunities here to consider with some solid companies with crude oil down. And again, with the wheel strategy, our goal is to start by selling puts, collect that premium. If the stock goes up, we make money. If the stock goes nowhere, we make money. If the stock falls, we're buying shares at a discount and getting paid, essentially getting a dividend payment up front, you could say, with the put premium that we've collected. And then if we get assigned shares, our goal is to sell calls, bring in premium on the call side, make some money there. Even if the stock goes sideways or pulls back, we make some money on the call side. If it rallies, we might get called away, or we could continue to sell calls and even sell calls at higher strikes above our assignment price. So that's why we love the wheel. It works in many different market conditions, and we don't have to be precise and have that perfect accuracy. And because of that, we have a high winning percentage, a very, 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 very high winning percentage. So anyway, here's some opportunities to consider. For me personally, I'm out of AMD now. I do still have a position on in PNC, and I have that Suncor put. So I'm looking to pick up some opportunities and some new positions. And this week might be the week. Looking at the economic calendar, we had consumer confidence today. This did nothing for the markets, but jobs will be in the spotlight. Tomorrow, JOLTS job openings. This is 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. This might move the market. On Thursday, we have ADP non-farm numbers. This comes out at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. Unemployment claims, also the combination here could potentially move the market. There's ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. But then the big jobs report on Friday. So Friday is the big one, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And with all of the jobs data coming out this week, we might see some volatility. We'll wait and see. And who knows, maybe there's some more debt drama, although it seems to be headed in the right direction. You never know when it comes to politicians and Washington. So I'm just looking for a little bit of a overreaction and some volatility, pick up some more plays so I continue with the wheel. With that said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe so you can get updated when we do more videos. And until tomorrow, happy trading, everybody.